Hello, good evening. Laviva, Ritika, kindly confirm if I'm audible to both. Ritika and Laviva, please confirm if I'm audible or not.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Thank you so much. All right, so both of you, in the last session, we were, I think, discussing question based on final account, and we did, I guess, two questions which are full-fledgedly based on the formation of the P&L trading and the balance sheet. So we'll do one or two more questions based on it, and then we'll start a new topic in this chapter only. So let's first of all start with a question. Just a moment. We already completed all these things. By the way, if any one of you have any doubt, you can ask in relation to previous classes or the topic that we have already discussed in this chapter. Okay, so we did these questions in the last class. I might have given you, I think, one question for the homework as well. Okay, so just confirm whether we did this question or not. Whether we have already done this question or not. Ritika, what do you think? Abiba?
Sir, we have not done it.
Okay, I think we haven't completed it. We'll start from this question. All right, so Labiba, I think we did not attempted this question, so we'll try to solve this question in today's class. Okay, all of you. So just start. Let's take the screenshot of the question. In this question, also we need to prepare the final account. That means we need to prepare the trading account, profit and loss account, and the balance sheet expression. Okay, so everyone, let's start with the trading account. Trading account. Profit and loss account. Questions based on the final account is basically they are a bit lengthy in around and take some time to solve. Anyways, first of all, we'll prepare the format of everything that we need to prepare in this question, and then we'll move to the items one by one. Okay. So first of all, we will be preparing the trading account. And for that purpose, I think we'll have to refer back to the question. So starting with, first of all, first information in the question is regarding the stock as on 1st of April 2016. So this is the opening stock, right, everyone? Any one of you please confirm where I should write down the opening stock, whether I should write that in the trading account, P&L account, or the balance sheet.
Trading
Tell me quickly. Very good, Ritika. Opening stock will be written in the trading account. Value of the opening stock, which is given in the question, is 23,500. Then moving back to the question, we have purchases. Purchases always written after subtracting the purchase returns. And I think there is no purchase written given in the question. Purchases. Value of the purchases were 46,800. We have to subtract purchase return, which is also known as return output. Let's find out whether the return output is given in the question or not. And just a minute. The return, yeah, returns out is given as 2,800. Everyone is able to see that return out is given as 2,800. Return out basically means return output. So we will be subtracting 2,800 out of it. And after subtracting 2,800, we will get 46,800 minus 2,800 will be 44,000. And we have sales. Sales is to be recorded in the trading account on the credit side by sales, but after subtracting the sales return, sales is 1,30,000. We'll subtract return in good. What simply return in, which is given as 6,600. Subtracting 6,600 out of 1,30,000, we'll get 123,400. Then we have productive expenses. What is productive expenses? Productive expenses basically means all production related expenses. And I've already discussed with you in the previous sessions that all production related expenses which are directly incurred on production are considered as the direct expenses and need to be recorded in the trading account. So, to productive expenses. $27,000. Then we have unproductive expense. Unproductive expense is an indirect expense. It should be recorded in the profit and loss account. So I'll go back. I'll move forward to the profit and loss account and record the unproductive expenses on the debit side of the P&L as to unproductive expense. Unproductive expense will be recorded in the profit and loss account on the debit side. Amount is 5,800. All right, everyone, is this clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Good. Then moving on to the next item, we have trade expenses. Trade expenses, again, it is an indirect expense and it should be recorded in the profit and loss account on the debit side. So, 2. Trade expense 1,200. Then we have return in, return out. We already treated these items. Loose tools. Loose tools are what? Loose tools are what? Loose tools are again, it is an indirect expense. It is an, in fact, it is an asset and it should be recorded in the balance sheet. It is considered as the part of current asset, everyone. Loose tools is a part of asset. It is recorded under the current asset. So loose tools will be recorded in the balance sheet on the debit side. Amount of loose tools were 7,200. All right. Then we have trademarks. Trademarks again, it is an intangible asset. Will be recorded in the balance sheet under the fixed asset. Anyways, I'm writing all the assets irrespective of the subheadings. Trademark. Trademark is 5,000. Then we have discount on the credit. Discount credit balance. Discount credit balance indicate that we have got a discount. Discount CR means discount credit balance. Indicate that we have got a discount. It should be recorded in the profit and loss account on the credit side. All right, discount credit means discount received. It should be recorded in the profit and loss account on the credit side. Why? Because discount received is an indirect income. By discount received or the credit balance 21, just a minute, 2100. All right, everyone, is this clear? I think Vanisha is joining late for the session. So Vanisha, let me tell you, we are discussing this question. This is the first question of the session that we are discussing right now. In this question, we need to prepare the final account. And we started preparing the final account for this question. We have already prepared the trading account, P&L and the balance sheet. The format of these accounts are already prepared. What I'm doing, I'm just putting all the items one by one in the relevant account. This is it. So I have already recorded the stock, purchases, sales, productive expense, unproductive expense, trade expenses, return in, return out, loose tools, trademark, discount, credit. All right, now I'll be discussing the remaining items.
Yes, sir.
Is that clear to you, Manisha? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, so moving on to the next item, we have salaries. Salaries, again, it is an indirect expense, need to be recorded in the profit and loss account on the debit side. So, two, salaries, amount was 9,600. Then fixed deposit with Punjab National Bank. Fixed deposit with Punjab National Bank, it is an asset. It comes under, in fact, it comes under the fixed asset category. Alright, so we'll move to the balance sheet section and write down fixed deposit with Punjab National Bank, PNB, and the amount was 10,000. Then next item we have is cash in hand. Cash in hand comes under the current asset. Need to be recorded in the again on the asset side of the balance sheet. Amount was 1,300. Students, we can classify all these items depending upon the category of the asset. Like loose tools comes under the current asset, trademark comes under the fixed asset, fixed deposit comes under the fixed asset, cash in hand comes under the current asset. So all these items which I'm writing in the balance sheet, that these items can also be classified into subcategories, subheadings. I mean, depending upon the current asset and fixed asset, these items can be classified. But what I'm doing, I'm just writing all the item one by one, irrespective of their headings, irrespective of their subheadings. I hope this is clear to all of you. We have the next item is motor vehicle. Motor vehicle, again, it is an asset. Need to be recorded on the asset side. Motor vehicle, 50,000. Next is leasehold land. Again, it is a fixed asset. Leasehold land, 60,000. After that, we have capital. Capital is balance sheet item, need to be recorded on the credit side of the balance sheet. But you must remember, I've told you that whenever you need to write down the value of the capital, we will always write down the amount of capital after adjusting it with the net profit and the amount of drawing. All right, so capital is given as 1,37,450. But I'm not writing this value in the final column of the balance sheet on the liability side, because I know that it needs to be adjusted with the net profit or net loss, whatever be the situation. If there is a net profit, we'll have to add the net profit, and if there is a loss, we will be subtracting the loss out of the capital. And then if there are any drawings, we'll be adjusting the capital for that as well. All right, so let me just find out whether we have any drawings given in this question or not. And as far as I'm able to see, I don't think there is any drawing given in the question. Or is there? Let me check. Yeah, okay. Life insurance premium. Life insurance premium is a personal expense, everyone. Just beneath the capital, we have life insurance premium at 6,000, right? Life insurance premium is not a business related expense. It is a proprietor's life insurance expense, and it is considered as a personal expense for the proprietor, and hence considered as a drawing. So we'll be subtracting it out of the capital, considering it as a drawing. LIC premium 6,000 need to be subtracted. Okay, and by preparing the PNL, we'll be getting the net profit that we'll add here, and whatever the amount final value we'll get, we will record that here. All right, everyone. I hope it is clear, all of you. Tell me, everyone, is this clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. After that, we have freight in. Okay, freight in. Tell me, what is freight in? Freight in is a direct expense. Will be recorded in the which account? Trading account. So, freight in basically means freight inward. $1,100. Then freight out. Freight out is an indirect expense which we record in the profit and loss account on the debit side. Freight out is 3,000. Then we have rent, and bifurcation of the rent is given. It says total rent is 7,500, but out of 7,500, 1/3 belongs to the factory and 2/3 of the total rent belongs to the office. So student, whatever the rent that belongs to the factory will be considered as a direct expense and need to be recorded in the trading account. And portion of the total rent which belongs to the office will be recorded in the profit and loss account on the debit side, as considering it as an indirect expense. Right. So total rent is 7,500. All right, but out of this, 1/3 is in respect of factory, and 2/3 is in respect of office. The portion of rent which is in respect of the office need to be recorded in the profit and loss account, and this proportion needs to be recorded in the trading account. All right. Does it make sense, everyone? Okay. So in the profit and loss account, I'll write down to rent. Out of 7,500 of the total rent, 2/3 portion will be considered as the indirect expense. So 2/3 of 7,500 is how much? Just a minute. Yeah, it will be 5,000. All right, and obviously 1/3 will be 1,500, 2,500 that needs to be recorded in the trading account. The two factory rent 7,500 into 1/3. All right, everyone. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. Then we have legal expense. Legal expense is what? Legal expense is again, it is an indirect expense. Will be recorded in the profit and loss account on the debit side. Legal expense 800. Miscellaneous receipts. Miscellaneous receipt is an indirect income. 500. Then we have next item as sundry debtors. It is an asset, obviously. It will be recorded in the balance sheet under the heading of the current asset. Sundry asset. Sundry assets are sundry debtors now. Sorry, sundry debtors are 30,000. After that, we have sundry creditors 16,100. It is again, it is a balance sheet item. It will be recorded on the liability side. Sundry liability 16,100. Then we have donation. Donation is what? Donation is an which kind of item? It is a profit and loss item, and since it is not given in the question whether we have received the donation or we made the donation, so we'll simply presume that we must have spent 600 as a donation. So it is considered as an indirect expense, will be recorded in the profit and loss account on the debit side. Donation 600. Apart from this, we have bad debts. Bad debt is an expense, indirect expense. Bad debts. Amount of bad debt was 4,750. All right, and just a minute. Apart from this, we have one more item: bad debt recovered. Just like bad debt is an indirect expense, similarly, bad debt recovered is an indirect income. Bad debt recovered by bad debt recovered This is 4,000. Then we have bank charges. Obviously, it is an indirect expense. To bank charges. Bank charges is 2,800. Then we have loan on mortgage. Loan is a liability. It will be recorded in the balance sheet. Loan on mortgage. This is 20,000. Then we have interest on loan. Interest on loan, we will be paying the interest on loan, obviously, and since we are paying interest on loan, so it will be considered as an indirect expense again. All right, so interest on loan is an indirect expense. So interest on loan, which is just a moment, 3,400. We'll be recording this on the debit side of the profit and loss account. And everyone, I think we have recorded all the items except the closing stock, which is given just below the table. It says value of closing stock as on 31st of March 2017 is 36,500. Can any one of you please tell me where I should record the value of the closing stock? Whether I should record that in the balance sheet, P&L, or the trading account? Vanisha, Ritika, Lavika.
So in trading
balance
and
sheet.
balance sheet.
In the balance sheet, Vanisha is saying in the balance sheet. Ritika, could you please repeat yourself?
So as a trading account and balance sheet.
Yeah. Closing stock is something which needs to be recorded in the trading account as well as in the balance sheet. All right. So first of all, we'll be recording that on the credit side of the trading account by closing stock for the year 2016-17, which is given as 36,500 in the question. And same need to be recorded in the balance sheet as well on the credit side. Oh, sorry, on the asset side, closing stock. Okay, and this is again 36500. Done. So we have recorded all the items on the relevant side of the relevant account. And now I think we can just find out the gross profit, net profit, and tally the balance sheet. All right, so let's start with the trading account first of all. So on the trading account, we have items. Just a minute. Yeah. So opening stock 23500, purchases 44,000. Then we have production related expense 27,000, freight in 1100, and rental expenses is 2,500. On the other hand, we have sales 123,400 and closing stock of 36,500. So first of all, totaling the credit side of the trading account, we'll get 123,400 plus 36,500. The total of this should be 1,59,900. And out of this, when we'll subtract all the debit side item one by one, we should be getting the gross profit in this situation. Gross profit, we should be getting gross profit of 61,800. Got it, everyone? Is this clear to all of you? Kindly confirm if this is clear or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the balance sheet for this question. Sorry, this is the trading account for this question. And now we'll move to the P&L. In the P&L, we have these items, starting with unproductive expenses. Then we have trade related expense. Then salaries, flight out. After that, we have rent, legal expenses, donation, bed debt, bank charges. All right, and interest on loan. On the credit side, we have discount and then miscellaneous receipts and bad debt recovered. And whatever the gross profit that we have generated under the trading account, we need to forward that in the profit and loss account as well. And we'll write down by gross profit as per trading account is 61,800. And when we'll total it, total the credit side first of all, we'll be getting total value of 68,400. On the debit side, subtracting all the item one by one, we should be getting a net profit situation here. So to net profit after subtracting all the item one by one out of 68,400, we'll be getting a net profit of 32,400. And now after finding out the net profit, we can just total the debit side and we will be getting 68,400. And both the sides are tallying, hence everything is done correctly. So this was the balance sheet, sorry, profit and loss account. Now let's talk about the balance sheet. Whatever the net profit that we have got, we need to carry forward this to the balance sheet as well. And since we have got a profit, so we'll be adding 32,400 in the amount of the capital. And then we'll subtract the amount of drawing. And then whatever the value that we will get, that is considered as the capital, closing capital of this year. And after subtracting 6,000 and adding 32,400, the total capital will be, it will be 163,900. All right, and then totaling adding 20,000 and 161,100, the total of the liability side will be 2 lakh. And totaling the asset side, loose tool, trademark, fixed deposit, cash in hand, motor vehicle, leasehold, sundry debtors, and closing stock, everything. So total of this should also be equal to 2 lakhs. Got it, everyone? Is this clear? Yes or no?
Yes.
Since both the sides are tallying, that means we have done the question correct. Anyone is still writing it? Ritika, Manisha, Labita? Just tell me once you are done.
Sir, could you show me the trading account?
Yeah, sure. Done, everybody? Anyone still writing it? Just let me know so that I can wait for 1 or 2 more minutes and then we'll start with a new question. Ritika, Manisha, Labita. Anyone still writing this?
No, sir.
Yes, you're saying yes.
No, sir. Done.
Done, okay. Manisha, what about you?
Yes, sir.
You're writing or not? You're done.
Yes, sir.
Done. All right, everyone. So with that, since we are done with this question, I think we can start with the adjustment questions. Let's start with question based on adjustment. And for that, we'll start with this question. Just a moment. All right, everyone. So again, this is a question based on adjustment. All right. Apart from the information, we have some adjustment entries also given in adjustment information also given in the question. By getting all the adjustment information, we need to prepare the trading account, profit and loss account, and the balance sheet. That means we need to prepare the final account for this question after considering all the adjustment information given in the question. So we have three adjustment given in the question regarding the closing stock. Then we have depreciation on plant and machinery is given as 10% and delivery vehicle 15%. Unpaid rent amount to 500. Okay. So we'll discuss how we actually treat the adjustment information, or you can also call them adjustment entries. But let's just start with the format of the final account. Let's prepare the format of the trading account, P&L and the balance sheet. And then we'll start dealing with all the item one by one. And we'll discuss how do we actually treat the adjustment information given in the question. I hope this is clear, everyone. And I want all of you to prepare the format of the balance sheet, trading account, and P&L. All of you, please start with the format of the trading P&L and balance sheet. And start putting all the item one by one in the relevant account. All right, everyone. So I'm done with the format. Let's start putting items one by one in the relevant section of the final account. The first information is capital. So I'm sure all of you already know where to put the capital. Capital is to be recorded on the liability side of the balance sheet. Capital, which is given as 1,90,000. Will adjust this for the net profit that we generate or net loss if there is, and we'll subtract out of it the amount of drawing. Let me check if it is already given in the question or not. Drawings, yeah, drawings is given at 7,000. You can simply subtract it from here. 7,000. Then we have plant and machinery. See, plant and machinery is 1,20,000. But regarding the plant and machinery, we have an adjustment information given in the question. I'm sure all of you are able to see that adjustment number 2 says depreciation on plant and machinery is 10%. Everyone is able to see that? Everybody is able to see that?
Yes, sir.
Depreciation on plant and machinery is 10%. So first of all, depreciation on plant and machinery, because it is an adjustment entry, so it will be affecting the plant and machinery, and this need to create affect at two places. Firstly, it will affect the plant and value of the plant and machinery in the balance sheet, and whatever the value of depreciation that we'll get, that need to be same value need to be recorded in the in the profit and loss account as well. All right. So first of all, let me show you how we'll be dealing with this. Because it is a plant and machinery, and we have an adjustment information given on the plant and machinery. So what I'll do, simply write down first of all the value of the plant and machinery on the asset side of the balance sheet. Or in fact, let me write down this like this. Let me just bifurcate all the assets. First of all, fixed assets, and then we'll have current. So under the fixed asset, we'll write down plant and machinery. All right, amount of plant and machinery was how much? 1,20,000. But I won't be writing the final value. I'm not going to write down 1,20,000 here. Instead, I'll first of all adjust it for the depreciation. So I have to subtract the amount of depreciation out of it. Let's 10% depreciation, which is 10% of 1,20,000 is how much? 12,000, right? And after adjusting it for depreciation, we'll write down the value of the plant and machinery in the final column, which will be 1,08,000. You understand that? Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear? Yes or no? Okay.
Yes,
And the depreciation that we have calculated, because it is an adjustment information, so it will affect the value of the plant and machinery as well as the depreciation, because it is an indirect expense. It will be recorded in the profit and loss account as well. So same value will be recorded in the P&L as well, profit and loss account as well. So I'll write down to depreciation on plant and machinery, 12,000. Got it? So effect of the adjustment entry will be at two places. Firstly, depreciation will affect the value of the asset in the balance sheet, and same depreciation will also be affecting the profit and loss account. So I mean the depreciation will be recorded in the balance sheet as well as in the profit and loss account. All right. Now let's move to the next item. We have delivery vehicle. And again, on delivery vehicle, we have an adjustment given in the question. Adjustment number 2 also relate to the delivery vehicle. It says depreciation on delivery vehicle is to be charged at 15%. So let's go to the balance sheet again. Delivery vehicle is a fixed asset. So delivery vehicle. Value was 26,000. On 26,000, we'll charge depreciation at the rate 15%. And after subtracting this value, we'll record the value of the vehicle in the final column of the asset side. So 15% of 26,000 is 3,900. And after subtracting 3,900 out of it, we'll get 22,100. All right. And because it is an adjustment entry and depreciation is an indirect expense, so we will be taking this same information, same value to the profit and loss account as well. So depreciation on delivery vehicle. Right, and the amount was 3,900. All right, then moving to the next item, we have sundry debtors, and there is no adjustment information given in respect of the sundry debtor, so we can directly write down the entire amount in the current asset section of the balance sheet. Sundry debtors is 36,000. After that, we have sundry creditor. No adjustment is given in relation to the sundry creditor. We can write down entire value on the liability side of the balance sheet. Sundry creditor is valued at 26,000. After that, we have purchases. We all know that purchases is an indirect, sorry, it is our direct expense, will be recorded on the debit side of the trading account. Purchases 20,000. But it is always written after adjusting the net, after adjusting the return outward, and there is no information regarding the return is available. So I think we can entirely write down the entire value in the final column. Right, everyone, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Then we have sales. Sales will be recorded on the credit side of the trading account by sales. No return is there. So 42,000. After that, we have wages. Wages again, it is a direct expense, which will be recorded in the balance sheet. Sorry, need to be recorded in the trading account, 8,000. Then cash at bank, it is a current asset, 26,000 in the balance sheet. Cash at bank, 26,000. Then salary. Salary is called the indirect expense. So salary, 8,000. After that, repairs. Again, it is an indirect expense. Repairs is what? Repairs are 1,900. Then stock on 1st of April 2018. This is opening stock, and opening stock is always written in the trading account on the debit side. A 16,000. Then rent. Rent is an indirect expense unless and until it is related to the factory. And since in this question rent is there is no bifurcation is given in the question, neither it is specifically mentioned that rent is related to factory. So we'll simply presume that it is an office related rent and will be considered as an indirect expense. The rent is 4,500. After that, we have okay. What is an adjustment relation in relation to the unpaid rent? adjustment number 3, it says unpaid rent is there 500. All right, so that means out of 4,500, we did not pay 500 and it remain outstanding. What we'll do is simply, first of all, because rent total expense in relation to rent was 500, but out of this is not yet paid. 500 is not yet paid. So rent which is not yet paid considered as the outstanding rent. All right. So first of all, we'll subtract this much from the total amount of rent, and the remaining amount can only be written in the final column of the profit and loss account. All right. And okay, just a minute. I'm sorry. Instead of subtracting it, I should add it. I'm sorry. See, the total amount of rent paid is 4,500, but actually there was rent of 500 which is not yet paid. So it is obviously it is an expense, and because it should have been paid. So in order to find out the total value of the rent, we'll be adding outstanding rent. The rent which is not yet paid will be added to the amount of rent, and the total rent will be 5,000. And because the rent is not yet paid, 500 is not yet paid, so what we'll do, we'll simply record the outstanding rent in the balance sheet as a liability. Rent which is not yet paid is a liability, yes or no, everyone? Everybody agree with that? Rent which is not yet paid is a
Yes,
liability,
sir.
yes or no? And since it is a liability, first of all, what we'll do, because outstanding rent is an expense, so we'll simply add 500 to the amount of rent which is given in the question, 4,500 plus 500. So the total expense of rent is 5,000. But since out of 5,000, we haven't paid 500, it is still due. That is considered as the outstanding rent, and we will take the effect of the outstanding rent in the balance sheet and write that in the balance sheet on the liability side as outstanding rent, 500. I hope you understand this. Everyone, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just keep that in mind that every adjustment entry affect two places at least. Like in this case as well, like in case of rent, we have an adjustment information given in the question, which is adjustment number 3. So it is affecting the balance sheet as well as the P&L, right? So 500 need to be taken into consideration while recording the amount of rent in the P&L, and same need to be recorded in the balance sheet as well. So every adjustment entry affect two places at least. Anyways, moving to the next item, apart from rent, we have manufacturing expense, 1,500, obviously because it says in the question that it is a manufacturing expense, so is obviously the direct expense to manufacturing expense, 1,500. All right, then we have bills payable. Bills payable is a liability bill. Bills payable need to be recorded in the balance sheet because it is a liability. Bills payable amount was 5,500. Then bad debt. Bad debt is an expense. Will be recorded in the balance sheet. Bad debt given as 5,000. All right, and one last item, carriage. Carriage is since it is not given in the question, so we will simply presume that it is a carriage in relation to purchase of good. All right, and it will be considered as the carriage inward. You understand that if nothing is given in the question, we'll simply presume that it is carriage inward, and carriage inward is what? Carriage inward is a direct expense. Carriage. 1600. This is it. One adjustment information is left to be written, which is closing stock. And as we know, closing stock is as given in the question, 16,000 need to be recorded on the credit side of the trading account, as well as same need to be recorded in the balance sheet. All right, so write that in the balance sheet on the asset side, current asset. Right, everyone? Everything clear? Please confirm if it is clear or not. Everyone, Ritika, Vanisha, Davipa, we have treated all the item, recorded all the item in the relevant section of the final account. Now see, since we are already out of time, so I'm giving you a small homework for you. What you need to do, you need to just figure out the amount of gross profit for the question and tally the trading account. The same thing you need to do with the profit and loss account and the balance sheet. I'm sure everybody will be able to do that. Right, Ritika?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the homework for you, just to tally the entire balance sheet, and I'm giving you one or two more questions for try. Just a minute. Question number 1 we already did. Yeah, please screenshot this question. Please take a screenshot quickly. This will also be your homework. All right, everyone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you want more questions? Shall I give you one more? Confirm. Do you want to try more questions? Shall I give you one more question for the homework? Everybody, Pratika, Vanisha, Ladiva, what do you say? Nobody is responding anything, so I can presume that nobody want any
This
extra
is, I
questions.
think, I think one is enough.
One question, one is enough. All right, Labiba. All right, so I can expect that at least you will try this question and you will be able to solve this question. All right. So this is it for today's session, everyone. Ritika, Vanisha, and Labiba. Make sure you complete this question. All right. And if you have any difficulty solving it, please discuss that in the next class. Till then, all of you, take care. Goodbye. See you in the next session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.